Call this meeting of Ohio County Fiscal Court to order at 4:30 on December the 17th, 2024. I'm going to ask Michael, would you do the prayer and pledge the flag?
If you would, bow your heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, the many blessings that you bestowed upon us. Look at all the families this Christmas and be with those that are less fortunate. Be with the fiscal court in this county as we do the things that we feel like are in the best interest of those around us. Be with our governing bodies, the state and at the presidential level, and be with all of those going into this holiday and on their travels. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And guys, you have before you the November 19th minutes. Need a motion approved.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Michael McKinney,
I'll second Michael.
second by Jason Bullock. Is there any questions?
Yeah, I've got a question. And on opening the bank account for the arts program, how much was deposited in that?
Well, it won't be till after you all approve it, but if you look on the late list, the balance, I believe it's 600, it's the 20, the 182, and the 435, it's over 600,000.
Is how much?
Over 600,000.
I think it's on
Yeah. the
page
exact amount.
3 or 4. Maybe, counting the first page.
$638,407. Thank you, Jason.
I'm sorry, six, how much?
$638,407.
And, oh, okay, it's down here at the bottom, I see it. How much in August the 23rd of 24, we passed a resolution for the American Rescue Plan to put what was left. I've got that at home somewhere, but I can't find it. Do you know how much that was?
No, I'd have to go back and look.
But you can find it for me?
Probably not, because it's a moving target, because we budgeted so much for, let me think of one that didn't use it all. We budgeted so much for fire departments, and if they didn't use it all, then that number changes from last August.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be what was left.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be what's left at the end. Whenever that was passed, you still had the sheriff's deputy being paid from there. You still had fire departments that still got payouts. It hadn't all stopped.
It says all remaining unobligated funds as of 4/23/24 will be obligated to the arts program.
That's $638,000.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Plus, after we do this budget amendment, it'll be another 190 that'll go in there.
190?
Yeah, but we have to do a budget amendment, which, as you know, requires 2 readings.
So it's going to put them up in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
All right, anybody else got anything? Not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Minutes passed. In front of you, you have the bills, claims, payments, and transfers. I need a motion to approve that.
Make a motion to approve,
Motion by Jason Bullock.
including the late list.
Yeah.
Second.
Second by Michael McKinney. Any discussion on the bills, claims, payments, and transfers? Is there any discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. The bills are paid. You have the treasurer's November 20 24 financial statement. We need to acknowledge that we received that.
Acknowledge, make a motion to acknowledge.
Okay. Get Larry and then Jason second. That's okay with Jason.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, they were talking at the same time. Exactly. Okay, any discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. This is gonna be the first reading on the budget amendments that we're talking about, ordinance 2025-3. This will be the first reading. There will be a second reading, and there actually could be subtle changes made in second reading if need be.
Is that still three things on page 4, Ann?
Uh-huh,
Okay,
that's the balance.
yeah.
And we need a motion and a second.
Larry, it has on the bottom of this page here, the amount in the end that's actually getting moved to the ARCH program is $625,000.
I seen it after.
Okay,
I seen it.
okay.
Do I have a motion? This is the first reading.
I'll make a motion for,
Motion by Jason Bullock. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dale.
second for discussion, if you guys.
Yeah. Any discussion? Not, it's an ordinance, so we gotta do a roll call, Miranda.
Bullock,
Is this the first $20,000? That's that first payment we're talking about? Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Morphew, sorry.
Yes,
Bevan,
that come out of the general fund, right?
The 20? No, it came out of the ARC, didn't it?
Well, all the money from ARPA that was left was moved to
The
the
ARPA,
general
yeah.
fund. So now then that 20,000 is in the general fund.
McKinney,
Yes.
Was that unanimous?
yes.
So the second reading will be at the next meeting, which is January the, what?
14th, I believe.
7.
Seventh?
No.
January 7th.
14th,
14th, okay.
the second and fourth Tuesdays.
Okay. That'd be January 14th.
We got on January 7th on our court thing here.
Well, just,
Did
ignore
you
my
miss it?
clerical, I knew it in my head.
Could it be?
Okay, never mind, so this isn't any
Calendar in
good.
front
So
of
this
you.
here is not any good?
Okay.
Can you cover that? What did I click on? Clerical calendar?
No, I believe it,
That's not.
it could be.
No, it's not. I knew it in my head.
She said it's
I
the
put the wrong
calendar
one
for the
down.
year.
It's 17, 28. No, it doesn't.
We'll deal with it later, that's.
Yeah, I'll print another.
It is 14th.
It is the 14th.
Okay. We have the clerk's November 2024 financial statement. She's not here, is she? But we need to acknowledge that we got it.
Make a motion.
Motion by Michael McKinney,
Second is acknowledgement.
second by Jason Bullock. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Next, you have the sheriff's annual order setting salaries, and I believe you actually approved this
It's
It's an
amended.
amendment.
It's amendment.
amendment, but we approve his amendment.
Is that just what we,
Yeah, this is just to amend the raises that were given.
that we added to it, the person? Okay, I'll make that.
Last meeting, didn't we, Judge?
Well, we did part of it, but this is, we have to amend his, we agreed to do it, but
Right.
now we gotta do it.
I'll make a motion to accept that.
Motion by Jackson Bullock,
Second.
second by Michael McKinney. Any further discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. You say this, which one is the same? Okay, we're going to item 9. Item 8 was a duplicate.
I should say, what was the difference in it?
No,
Yeah,
it was the same thing.
Okay.
I put it on twice, and we normally do them at the same time. I was thinking the clerks and the sheriffs, but it's actually an amendment as well, so I didn't even catch it.
Sheriff's 2025 budget to approve. Same thing, we're approving that, the budget, which we put the money in already for the,
I'll make the motion to accept Sheriff's 25 budget.
yeah.
Second.
Second to Larry. You got it?
Mhm.
Any discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose like sign. Motion passed. Next, we got the clerks. I want to explain this, for interested don't know it. The sheriff and the clerk are on calendar, years, and our fiscal court's on, fiscal years. So we do theirs out of sequence from what we do the other. Even though when we do our budget for the 1st of July, we have to consider all these numbers and have them, but yet we don't actually set their budget until the end of the year. So you have the clerks, same thing here, budget. Motion.
I'll make the motion.
Motion to Jason.
Second.
Second to Dale. Or was it Larry? Dale. Is there any discussion on that? Being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. You have a list of those vehicles the sheriff wants to.
Yes, you do.
I do. That was dangerous. That's it right here.
No,
Are those vehicles in here?
There-
Yes.
there-
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they're in the back.
Oh, okay, she got me a new list. I'll read them all. We have a 2016 Dodge Durango, with 205,000 miles, a 2018 Ram with 78,317 miles on it, a 2010 Ford Crown Victoria, mileage unknown, and we have a 2015 Dodge Durango with 210,602 miles on it. What we do is prepare the surplus for the sheriff to sell on Gov Deals.
Anyone can bid on this, can't you? Like
Yes,
this,
I
like-
gotta get on the internet.
I'll make a motion to put those on surplus list.
Motion by Jason.
4 vehicles.
Larry seconded.
Larry seconded, okay. Okay, any discussion on them? Sheriff's here now if you have any questions for him about them. So, the motion read, Adam, that we surplus them for you to sell on Gov Deals, right?
Will that proceeds go into the capital outlay?
I'm sorry?
Will the proceeds from the vehicles, will they go into my capital outlay?
I think they can. I believe we receive them in, and as Ann's always saying, that revenue and expenditures don't kiss.
Okay.
That's her word, not mine.
They will, it will.
But it will.
Okay, thank you.
But it's gonna take another action. Did we vote on that?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion passed. Now then, senior center vehicle, you got it for me? Then we need to also declare surplus a 2011 Ford Escape. And it's at senior center with a bad transmission. It doesn't say the miles on it, but we need to sell it on Gov Deals to go toward another one.
Is that in our packet?
Yes, it is. Towards the back. Second last page, I believe.
We've had it around trying to see about transmission work for it, and it's been more than it books for. Is the word I got. So I'll need a motion and second to surplus that one as well.
So moved.
Motion by Larry,
Second.
second by Michael. Any discussion? This also will be sold on gov deals. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Is there anybody here to make the IDA report? Are you, Ann's going to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Paul Sanford is the chairman, but he could not be here tonight. Each of you should have a handout. As you know, the Industrial Development Authority receives funding through the TVA money that's allocated each year. So you'll know the board members, the chairman is Paul Sanford, vice chair is Darren Luttrell, secretary treasurer Ann Melton, board members David Figg, Jason Bullock, C.C. Robinson, and Christina Carpenter. The board meets quarterly. If you look on the back of your sheet, we're required annually to report to you what the money has been spent on. And I'm going to go back and recap to 2022. Each year, we receive $153,846. And in 2022, $80,000 was paid towards the water debt service with the Ohio County Water District.
Which we have to do that annually, right? That's something we promised when we built the water.
Right.
$15,000 was given to mainly local to get that publication started. That's a quarterly magazine. $150,000 was given to Warren RECC for the electrical project at Bluegrass Crossings. In 2023, $80,000 was given to the Ohio County Water District for the water debt service. In 2024, $80,000 was given to the Ohio County Water District for the water debt service. $15,000 has been obligated and is still pending to Ohio County Tourism, and $150,000 to GRITA for Bluegrass Crossings, and this was to extend road, water, sewer, and electric site to the sites to the industrial park. Did y'all have any questions?
This is fairly new fund. I mean, it hasn't been around all that long, so we're glad to get it. TVA always had paid this in fees, but the state decided that the county, local, have it. So we've had it for the last, what, 5 years?
Since 2021.
Okay.
And do you have a ballpark figure how much has been given to Warren Rule for the electrical service at
Well, the IDA gave 150. GRITA handles that, so I'm not sure what the total
The grant,
project.
there's another grant for 150.
Yeah. I think there was, don't hold
Or
me to it.
300.
I think there was 400 from the state, and then 150 from them and 150 from the IDA.
Okay. Yeah, it was a large project, but we've been very lucky to get that done out there.
are they getting close to completing it, or?
Yes, yes.
Do you have anything else?
How much longer do we have on that water project? The 2030?
35.
35?
And that's the only significant debt that we have. We have a little one or two. There's a couple $100,000 left on these two buildings that when we had to renovate them, and a little bit on some equipment. But our only major debt that we hold is for that water debt. Thanks for the report. Let's go ahead even though I don't think we have to. Let's go ahead and approve it. Yeah, I'd like to have a motion on it, even though I don't think the law.
I'll make a motion to accept
Motion by Jason
our report.
Second.
Second by Dale Bevan. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion passed. We're going to, in a little bit, need to go into closed session, but to keep everybody from waiting on that,
That's for the other, right here.
oh, that's for
Yeah.
closed session.
Yeah.
We have guests here tonight, and if y'all will pick out a couple of you to speak, about 3-4 minutes apiece, appreciate it, and that way we'll go ahead and hear you out before we go into our closed session. You don't have to wait around so long. Mr. Hoover, you know how, you can do it.
On the solar farms, I personally am against this. It should have been on a voting ballot. It'll be an eyesore for the community and a hazardous waste field with fire potential. Hazardous waste containing radiation, silver, silicon, lead, arsenic, cadmium, copper, indium, and many more. Our property values will drop considerably. The land used will be exposed to erosion. Leaching of the chemical makeup into the soil and underground water, springs and wells can be ruined. Runoff will kill aquatic life, fish, mussels, shad in the lakes and Grassy Creek, in which flows in the Rough River and Green River. Some of this aquatic life could be close to extinction now. Wildlife habitat will be reduced, and exposing wildlife to all the radiation and chemicals. Our grandkids, deer, rabbits, birds, animals of prey, including the American bald eagle, are all at hand here. It will take all of us working together to ensure our grandchildren have a healthy and good future. A future of healthy land to farm, providing families with food and a way of life. Healthy wildlife to be sustainable for hunting and enjoying. Please consider protecting these things God has blessed us with. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Ms. Johnson, right?
Yes,
Sally.
I'm Sally Johnson. My concern is that it does make noise. You have this 170 feet to 480 around a residence, not considering we have a lake in the middle of it. The inverters, the transformers, if they catch a fire, it is hazardous. We don't have a fire department to take care of a chemical fire. We have volunteers. And these volunteers, when they find out that they have to take care of a hazardous fire, may not be volunteers. That's a concern. Do I need to go more? Because I have a lot more.
Well, I know, and Mr. Hoover covered a lot of it. This thing has to go to a state permitting process, which has not even begun. We thought it was going to be done quickly, but it's not. So I'm looking at probably at least spring before they apply to the state now. And then it's at that point they must, by law, the state will come down with the Scout, which is named the company that's doing it, and with the landowners that sold the land to them or leased it to them, and they will have to hold a public hearing and hear all this out. And I don't know how long it will be, because certain things in the energy field has changed, and that could or may slow down the progression of it.
I heard it was gonna be August, is that right?
Well, that minimum, well, spring, probably around August before they get far enough along, they can do the public hearing, if then. And, y'all know what I mean by the change in the energy business.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it could be that alternative energy, which we're also looking at methane gas as well. Those things may not be as appealing if the price is not there to get out of it. But we will keep, I've got your number, Sally, and I want to get a couple more of them before we leave here. And anything that comes up, I would definitely, the minute we hear from it from the state, we'll make sure y'all know as well.
Well, one thing I wonder, and I don't know, it just wonders if now that this is what he's saying, is a change of administration, and they're applying for all these grants and monies to help them build this, if that's not there, will they even move forward? That's kind of the question we're wondering too.
Or so it won't be as soon.
If everybody can put your name and your phone number on here.
Is the MOU signed for this already?
Is the MOA? It is.
MOA, sorry.
Yes, it is.
It is, so it's a done deal?
Well, with the execution of the MOA that was done a few months ago, I guess, or not, that was an agreement that indicated that variances that were part of the ordinance would be honored.
So how can we get out of this then?
So I think from discussions, it's on the state level now as far as their application. Breckenridge County just went through this. All those notices and everything are of record and can be found, and it kind of gives you kind of what that timeline is and what that time frame is. They filed their application. There was public comments with respect to that. Objections, of a similar nature were made. I don't know what has come of that, but I do know that that process was started in that way. And so when the judge discusses the state level, there's still that process that they have to go through on that.
Have you looked at this?
Have I looked at what?
The MOA?
Yes, the MOA was sent to us considering the variances and everything, yes.
I got a text from the late Johnny Adams' daughter, Kim. A lot of you knew Johnny. She says if you want to see a 800-acre mess, go up on Highway 79 between Brandenburg and Irvington. You'll see what it looks like.
Yeah, that's the Breckenridge County that he's talking about. Okay. And we do listen, and we do what we think's right for the majority of the people in the county. And it looked like at the time that solar energy was going to be the next big thing. And it was going to help recruit a lot of industry for the county.
Yeah, so was coal mines.
But, yeah, coal mines do too.
I'm Edie Coleman, and my concern was most of us didn't know that you all would talk about this. And
Yes, yeah, we did know it.
And we would appreciate it if you would have come down, Judge, to each one of our homes. You know where these farms were coming, the solar farms. If you would have come to each of our homes and said, we're going to be meeting this certain time at this certain day, we would have all been here and probably more. But that's a disappointment. And it's just a disappointment that you all would agree. I mean, would you all want a solar farm right next to you, your house, or your farm? Would you?
Well,
We don't.
with
No, I don't know.
we have no countywide planning.
And Judge,
So the people that own the property had a right to sell it for what they wanted to, yes.
Judge,
To sell it or lease it, whichever they did.
it was never sold. None were sold. It's all leased. We know that.
You're telling
Also-
he's
You
playing
didn't have to
games.
sign the paper saying push it through before you even asked anybody in the community.
The people who live there.
The whole community should have known about this going through. That's what we're upset about. We're very upset about it. You know, we don't want it. But you say it's gonna benefit
Who?
who?
Well-
Wait just a second, I'm still talking, please. I think it will devalue our farm ground, our land because of that. And that's very upsetting. So if the leased solar farms, their tax property is gonna go up, then we want ours to go down. We're just not happy, Judge. But you, when you all go, and I know our magistrate isn't even here today,
He's working out of town today.
but I am glad he voted no. He was the only one that voted no.
That's right.
And that's a big, big disappointment.
I wasn't
for
there, I'd
us.
have voted no because I'm an underground coal miner retired and I'm not for the new Green Deal.
Thank you.
This could have been put on strip land where no residence is around, or our farmland. You know that as well as we.
A lot of it is on strip mine land, I believe.
That's right beside our homes.
Mr.
That's the farmland.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The farmland and the residence. You have it 170 feet from a neighbor and 480 to mine. And that's the house to the panel, not the property line.
Yeah, that's what we're all upset about is the setback, and you guys hurriedly voted to amend those setbacks and allow them to talk you into moving their project that close to our property. They should have at least been held to the edge of each property line and at least to some kind of recommended distance, which is 1,500 to 2,000 foot from any property or residential property. And basically, they've talked you into voting on this, and now we're hamstrung because they've already got your stamp of approval on it, and they get to move forward to the state level. So we're coming in behind the 8 ball to try to argue this deal that we feel like that we should have been protected from and stopped on a county level.
Amen.
Yes.
Because our disappointment is you guys are elected to protect us.
Right.
And when something comes on your desk that affects us, if you don't come out to our communities and figure out how it's gonna affect us one-on-one, visually come out and look and see what's going on and how it's gonna affect our families, our futures, our land,
Yes.
our
Yeah.
property value, and you don't even talk to us. But now you're kicking the ball down the court, well, it's not our problem now it's the state's.
Yeah.
We
Exactly.
elected you guys to protect us.
To
And
protect us.
in order for you to protect us, you have to communicate with us. That was not done. And so now you're kicking the can to, well, you're telling us, well, now it's a state problem. Now it's a state, wait till all this comes through. Well, you know what? It should have stopped right here in this, with you all. At least it should have been discussed with the people it was gonna affect. Instead of us having to hear through the grapevine, through people and people and people, that now you're kicking it down the road to somebody else's problem. When we wanted it to be addressed here in our hometown.
And don't say you feel sorry for us as citizens because you voted yes. You don't feel sorry for us if you voted yes for the solar panels to come to our community. You do not feel sorry for us one bit.
No, you
Bring
don't.
that solar panel right up to your grandchildren. Let all that stuff seep out into the ground where your grandchildren are gonna walk. There's plenty of room right across from you, Mr. Bullock. You can put a solar panel right there.
That's why you need planning, zoning, county and zoning. You're exactly right.
Well, it needs to be stopped.
But the cities have
It
it.
needs to be stopped.
You had an ordinance.
Factory
You
farm.
had an ordinance. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter the plan and.
And I'm just saying, I do hate it, but I don't know how can you tell somebody that you can't have
Ordinance
anything,
says no noise.
sell their property without planning and zoning?
They could put a factory farm by any of them.
Yeah, the local city plan and zone is a train wreck. You don't
But I
want-
know, but it keeps stuff like this from happening though. I don't like necessarily planning and zoning,
Jason, your
but it
ordinance,
allows this from not happening.
your ordinance basically was a planning and zoning for this time.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you,
And the thing is, your original ordinance
Mhm.
that passed back in June was very protective.
Yeah.
You all amended that in October, and you amended the variance, which is this MOU, all the same night. You had a reading on September 24th and a reading on October 2nd. It was one notice in the paper, which was October the 2nd, the night you all passed it.
Yeah.
And most people that get the paper don't get it until the 3rd or the 4th, 2 days after
Yeah.
it came out in the paper.
Yeah.
The public did not have any opportunity to participate in the rulemaking process, which this MOU effect is a rulemaking process.
We were told that you guys all were talked to. As a matter of fact, they told us names. Did they not use names in the meeting, the people they talked to?
No, they wouldn't in the paper until the day
They've
of.
come to my property so many times, I've had to run them off, that
Yeah.
we're not.
I mean, do we know everything? No, but they told us that they had talked.
They lied.
Was it rushed?
They
It
lied.
was on us.
They lied to every neighbor.
Yeah.
They lied to us.
They lied to every neighbor when they wanted to sign a lease. They
Yeah.
didn't knock down any price, every neighbor was different, so they lied to every one of us every time they come around. I don't wanna hear that you didn't know that.
No, I'm just saying we just said they talked to you. No, I know.
Nobody
You
that
took their word
lived in
for
that residence, nobody. Every one of them does not live there that's putting solar panels in. You know our.
Well, I know that, but that's their property. I can't tell them what they can and can't do with their property.
The only thing
I understand that, but that's,
the only thing I've heard is we just try to do what's better for the greater good of the county. And that's why you guys are all here, correct?
yeah.
I mean, that's why you're sitting up there. If it's not, then what else? In what way, in any way, would this benefit the county? Just tell me one, aside from maybe a little tax dollar money, if it doesn't go bankrupt in 5 years.
But, and I'm not necessarily worried about the tax manner, because it was just 1 year that we were really gonna make huge money, or big, not even no huge money, good money. My thing is that we don't have enough power at our industrial park, so we were trying to find ways to get power to sell to our industrial park.
You're not gonna get it that way. It's gonna go right into Big River, the grid.
I know, that's exactly right. We were hoping someday we could pipe from that, because
What are you gonna do, build a power line from there to the industrial park?
we just don't have enough power at the plant, at the industrial park we have, so we were kinda hoping this would be a way that we would have coal and we would have solar with 2 options. I don't like the Horse Martin Loop part of it. The reclaimed land, if you were gonna have a solar panel, to me, that made more sense to have it on reclaimed land than farmland.
Then you should have voted no.
You got 30,000 acres of reclaimed land around here, it's not visible from the road.
Right on our
I
road.
mean, they could put it anywhere, it's not visible.
The thing is, your original ordinance would have limited to reclaimed ground.
We would not have been able to put it anywhere probably with the original.
That was
Well,
prohibited.
The thing is, there's one thing in the amended ordinance that would have protected us that you all backed off on. The first ordinance said you could not impact prime farmland. That would have eliminated Horace Martin Loop, and it would have eliminated the Hayden Farm that's right on 85.
Right across on the left side,
Prime
yes.
farmland. But you took that out and let them have it. Now then, we're stuck with it.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of wasteland that they, we're not in opposition to that, because it's out of sight, out of mind. But you caved into them with the prime farmland issue, which would have eliminated all the issues that we probably have right now.
Yeah, the 2 issues I had were right across from,
So that's prime farmland.
and then the one on Horse Martin Loop.
But you amended the ordinance to eliminate them. Now we have.
I spoke with them afterwards to ask that they would wrap trees around the whole section, that's
Well,
it.
and that's the other issue. That won't make any difference.
Yeah,
We all live, they're gonna have 15-foot tall trees.
yeah.
All the houses around Horse Martin Loop
Are up on a hill.
15 feet in elevation higher than where the towns are gonna be. We're
I
gonna
understand.
look over the top of their trees. You know, it's a no-brainer there. It won't protect us at all. That's just window dressing is all it is. And the thing is, we're gonna fight it at the state level.
Yes, we
We're
are.
gonna, but it would have been a lot better to have our fiscal court behind us, and you're
Yes,
not.
it would. No,
You're not behind us. The only one is Bo Bennett. The rest of you sold us down the cotton picking river.
Yes, you did.
I wasn't here yet, so.
Well, you're part of the body. So
I am now, I wasn't then.
Guilty by association. And the thing is, the ordinance was a good ordinance, and it needed to be written. It was a good ordinance. And we're not saying that, hey, we don't want solar power here at all. We're not saying that. But there is a lot of wasteland down in our area that was left by Peabody Cocoa. And a lot of it is proposed for solar panels. They came in and sold everybody a bill of goods that if we can't have this many acres, then the project's not viable, and you believe it. And they also came in and said, we've got to have this payment by Friday. We got to make this payment. We want to know what you're going to allow us to do. You sell them, you let them bulldoze you into making a decision, an uninformed decision. And I want to know is, did they make that payment? If they didn't, they negotiated in bad faith, and the MOU should be vacated.
That's exactly
Yes.
That's right.
I'd have asked to see if.
They need to find out.
Okay.
As our representatives, you need to find out if they
Yes,
made
you
that payment. And if it wasn't, Justin, did they not negotiate in bad faith if they didn't make that payment?
There are indications throughout as far as this court, and to get back on the agenda as soon as possible through special call was an indication of some type of payment. I don't know what the payment was for, that they explained it, but I just don't know. But it was requested to the court to hurry this up for that.
Yeah,
So
I
that's something we
understand
could look into.
The problem is, you should have said, they dictated the timeline to you instead of you
I kind of
dictated the
did,
timeline to them.
But we were going basically on, and I'm not doing, we were going unadvised with our economic person too.
Then you should have voted no.
Go ahead.
Jason?
Yeah, Jason, we know.
There was nobody else in this room was here that night in that meeting, and you said, you know, the benefit of tax dollars. None of you were aware of the amount of tax dollars. You let their attorney sit there and figure a number that he thought he might give you. Is that not incorrect?
And listen, I'm not even worried about it. I've said in the meeting, were you at the meeting?
I was the only one in this room.
Yeah, you were the only one, and I think I said, I'm not even really worried about the payment, because that's just 1 year, and it's not, I'm more worried about what's it gonna benefit us in the future, not necessarily.
That just is how uninformed you all were.
Yeah, I just want to, what's gonna benefit us 15, 20 years down the line, not, I don't care about the 1 year money.
So you voted on it at a chance.
Well, because I want to see the effects of what's 15, 20 years down the line for the county.
And also, yeah,
But
and
15, 20 years down the line, that's half the life of the panels.
give the power
Yeah.
to the,
And maybe
And listen, I said too, if they go to state, I don't want to see it at Horse Martin Loop.
I don't,
That's the one section,
but
and
the
it,
problem is, how are you gonna fight for us with the state if you've already approved it?
What's gonna be the effects of 15 and 20 years, the future of the kids that are gonna be living 100 feet away from this stuff?
I don't know of any, I'll be honest with you, I don't know of any effects that, I mean,
Because we don't know.
yeah, I don't, I'd say it's safer than coal mines and coal stacks.
Y'all didn't even know it made noise.
Not necessarily.
No, not necessary.
I would say
And
probably.
if it catches the
Who's
fire,
gonna compensate us for our property going down?
I asked that question, and I told him I didn't believe him. He said that
Fish down there in my lake, who's gonna compensate me for all them fish?
and if it catches on fire, since we're so close, and we burn down, are you guys gonna pay for that? Are you gonna take care of our house that burns down? You need to kind of.
I'll drop me a note to check. I've never heard of any fire hazards, but I have both neck and check.
Oh, we have, yes.
I guess the biggest fire department you got up here in Hartford, I guess, bigger than, are they even equipped to fight a chemical fire like that?
Why, no, they're not.
There's one
knows
place she looked up where it was caught on fire. They was equipped to fight a chemical fire. They couldn't even put it out. They had to bring concrete in there and dump on it, put it out. Now, I don't think they could do it.
It looks to us that you all did not investigate it more than we did. We investigated this whole thing more than you guys, and you're representing us. And that's a big disappointment. I just hate it so bad.
Jason, I'm calling on you because you raised the issue. You said you didn't know long-term effects of exposure, but basically the long-term effects to exposure from chemicals like cadmium would be kidney, bone, or lung disease. And basically with the agreement that's in place, the map I looked at are showing panels within 250 foot from the center of my house, which, you know, I revert back to my original point. Why on earth are we agreeing to anything that's not from the edge of a property line? You know, it should have been eliminated altogether from that area, or within the original ordinance, which called for the 1,500 to 2,000 foot. But basically, you know, that's the kind of chemicals that are gonna go into the ground from this long term, and that, you know, that renders that whole area completely worthless. Their lakes are gonna be damaged, even the property owner that's leasing it out, his lakes are gonna be ruined, and, you know, these are not the kind of long-term exposure that's healthy for any environment.
Well, do appreciate it, and we do.
The perception is, and we're not trying to attack you all personally, but the perception is that you all were more of a representative of them than you were of us. But they dictated your schedule. You should have looked them square in the eye and they said, we gotta make a paper for Friday, we gotta know what you're gonna do. You should have said, that's tough. That's tough. They wouldn't have pulled out. They'd have been back the next week, the next month trying to get it done. But you caved in.
And I understand, they are pushing.
They are.
They come by and talk to everyone, talk to a lot of people.
I live right across from my farm, borders Horace Martin Loop. And my house is about 1,800 feet from the road, and I live up on a high hill. I can see 2.5 miles across that valley. When the trees have lost their leaves, I'm gonna see the entire solar farm. All I'm gonna see is black panels. I didn't even get any input because I'm not an affected landowner. They don't even consider me an adjacent landowner because I'm not contiguous to the property line that they're on. A county road separates us. And, you know, the problem is, we as tax-paying voting citizens did not have any input in this process because we didn't even know about it. And you can say, well, we fulfilled the obligations by putting it in the paper. That's fine. It was in the paper on October 2nd. The meeting was that night. Who's going to read the paper? And if somebody goes to work and buys one at the newsstand, they're going to find out about the meeting after it's already over. It did not meet the spirit of the intent of the law, which is to inform the voting public when legislation is enacted. We didn't get an opportunity to even participate in it. Their attorney was here, their people were here, but we weren't. And you know, I guess the cat's out of the barn now, but it's very disappointing that you all let an industry make your decision for you and not have any input of the people. And we're the ones going to have to live with it if it goes forward. I'm hoping a common sense Trump administration will kill all funding of it, because I don't want my federal tax dollar wasted on grants for them, and it destroys my way of life, Jason. You know, there's a wide open field across from your house. I know you wouldn't want it there.
Oh, I told you I wouldn't.
I know. So why did you vote for it for us?
I'm sitting here,
You don't have an answer.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I can't.
I'm gonna hear this lady here, then we're gonna have to move on to our other business.
No, you'll sit here and listen.
This lady here,
I just had
right to you.
I just had two questions. One was the legal notice for the meeting, for the meetings that have been held, was that properly advertised in the county?
It's my understanding was, I could go back and double check.
Well, there was only one notice, it was October the 2nd.
And the second question I have is, what type of due diligence did any of you do on the company that is proposing that?
I just basically read a couple articles about, I went and read some articles, I got some, actually had a couple ordinances from other counties and looked at.
I mean, due diligence on the company.
Yeah.
I went along and talked with our economic person.
We talked to them.
I would like to know that. I would like to know what type of due diligence was done regarding the company that's making this proposal. What their history is. Surely this is not the first implementation they've had.
Yeah, basically, along with all of our complaints, I think we've kind of made ourselves pretty clear about it, but we're also asking you if you can help us find a way to claw back this agreement that you made, now that you understand how greatly that our communities are going to be impacted. We need your help, and we're asking for it right now.
We will look into it. I've actually within, hopefully before the first of the year, but not soon after, I'm meeting back with the company to see where they are on everything. They're gonna send a gentleman up to see us.
I would like to talk to him about the farmland and horse martin.
He'll be
As
back.
far as reclaimed land, I'm not gonna sit here and say that,
But,
I wish I could promise, but I mean, if we could get that done, accomplished,
I think as a group,
we'll look at
on
that.
the reclaimed ground, a lot of that's outside our mind. I'm not
and I don't like that either, but
But if we had to make a concession, we would probably concede that and not put it on prime farmland. Because if you take the prime farmland piece out of it, then it is eliminated from view for the most.
the two places I'm talking about is kinda up and across from the Colemans
But
and your loop.
none of the landowners that leased to them or sold to them was not, I mean, they did it, the landowner did their choice on it. They made their choice.
They don't live there.
They don't live there.
They
Be honest with you, Jack,
They're
I
not
don't
even
care
from
what their
Ohio
landowner
County.
gets.
They don't even live in Ohio County.
You know, that's irrelevant to the
Yeah.
argument. That's irrelevant to the
Yeah,
argument
well-
the landowner did.
I'd like to say, I'll share my number, I'd like to talk with each of you, and to answer your question about the due diligence
Yes.
for the company. I was going off our economic development advisor from his standpoint. This was a rush decision, I want you all to understand, 8 days. It was a hard 8 days for me, I didn't know. I know a lot of you out here in the audience. I wish that I'd heard from some of you. I did hear from one of the.
We did not.
I understand that, but that's, and not taking up for Jason, but he was correct in saying that they said that, you know, that they had spoke to all of you all were aware of all of this. They gave us an 8-day timeline.
That's bad faith.
That was that.
Tell them that they lied to you about that.
And
They lied to you.
Well, we think maybe that might somewhat be true.
And we're trying to, we've looked into that, Justin, that's one of the calls that you and I had about, you know, I wanna see proof of this payment. And, I'm gonna share my number, I would like all of you to call me, I would like to talk to you about it individually. There's nothing that I can do about the way that I voted. I voted yes, based on economic development, discussions, based on the property becoming industrial where the tax base would go up. I'm not saying I did it for the money, I'm just saying that and the fact that our grid is gonna be improved with possibly more electricity, which economic development says that we need that. So looking from all those aspects, that's the reason why I voted yes. I understand that there's several of you here tonight, and all of you are upset, but I'm gonna give my phone number. I'd like to talk to each of you. I know Justin's gonna look into it, the judge said he would, to see, you know, if we can backpedal or something, I don't know. But my number's 270-256-2268. And best of my knowledge, I know, Natalie, you messaged me, I gave you my cell phone number. I had not heard from anyone against this, and heard from 2 people that they called me specifically to vote for it. And I'll just add that.
Natalie did reach out to me.
You know, and I didn't speak to you, but that was after the vote. That was after the vote that
Well, I had several that wanted it. But we need to move on, and we will be with you at the public hearing, and we'll see if there's anything. If they didn't deal in good faith with us, we'll see about that. And I'm meeting with the company sometime in the very near future.
Is there any way that these fiscal court meetings can be put anywhere other than the paper? I mean, it's 2024.
Okay, up until November, December, they're always on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday.
Are you talking about the meetings?
October 2nd was a special call, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We don't have very many
Come in
of
the
them.
paper that day, October the 2nd. People don't get papers until noon, and the meeting was at 4. And if you get the paper in the mail, you get it the following day. Check it out.
We do, yeah, it's on our webpage.
Well, I'm just gonna say, and I'll leave it at this. I told you I don't like it. I'm looking at Michael, what's it gonna do for Ohio County as a whole? I walked out of that meeting and I said, listen, half those people down there I've stepped on them, I know that, because
Your
but
grandmother
if we can look at the Horace Martin loop, and we can look at the farm section, I don't mind to relook at that. You know, as far as solar panels, the reclaimed land, I can't, because, you know, they could, I'm not gonna say we'll come back on that, if they can use that.
They've got a lot of that proposed.
The what?
They've got a lot of old strip works proposed.
Yeah.
Now, but they also have these sections of brown farmland.
Mhm.
The original ordinance would have blocked it, and that's the
Yeah.
problem.
I understand that.
You know,
Okay.
and, you know, it's, I do not think, I don't think they negotiated good. They always said they.
I understand.
They misrepresent the truth, and.
Some of them
they
win behind them.
misrepresented to you all and forced to draw a decision. And yet, they should, you know, y'all should have just looked them square in the eye and said, we're not gonna make a decision in 8 days.
Yeah.
And done due diligence.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna sit here and say the mistakes weren't made.
We will, we
I
do need to
Yeah.
move on. We've got to do a short closed session, and we got several other items of business. I need a motion for closed session.
I'll make a motion.
We need a second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. I'm gonna let you make the motion. Here.
Oh, is this a good one?
We took care, we did not make any votes in the meeting. We discussed personnel.
I'll make a motion to go back in the meeting here.
Second.
Okay, now there you go, David.
Okay, I didn't know which way. We're back in the meeting. I didn't know where to tell it before or after we go back in. We discussed personnel, possible litigation, and that sort of thing. And one of which is going to be a motion, but I'm going to ask Michael McKinney.
I'd like to make a motion that we junk a frame that was, it's an E350 Ford frame that was used once upon a time by our EMS here in the county. It's, and give David or whomever the authority to get that junked at Vesta's office. And the serial number, I guess I don't have a.
I got it.
You need to say.
Okay, you got it? Okay,
Yeah, I'll
yeah.
put it in.
Yeah, Michael.
And.
I mean, Larry.
So they're okay with that being jumped?
Well, there's issues with respect to it, and with respect to some of the discussions.
Okay, so I'm to jump the title?
So yes, because of certain circumstances that happen.
Yeah, this isn't the box, this is just the frame the box came off of.
No, you have one. It's the dream.
You're over my head, I'll shut up.
We do not lose time.
I got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion passed. We have committee reports. I believe that's back to you, Michael.
The road.
He's got it.
The road committee, auction results for our 2024 Mack, VIN 38754, truck sold, for $203,766. The cost of the truck, $203,766. The auction proceeds from that, that was the actual costs that we paid. The auction proceeds was $237,500 after we did a deduction for the cleanup and deduction for the fees to the auction. We received $220,575 for a positive amount of $16,809 back to us. So that means that we actually made money on that sale of that vehicle. So
let's hope next year does as well. Next year's a Kenworth instead of Mack. That's hope it does as well as the sale. Thank you. Any other committees met? The report? Been any other committees?
Our city got canceled this week, so we didn't, and the wage scale committee got canceled this week.
Yeah.
And the treasurer search committee got canceled this week.
It's just a busy,
Yeah, it's
busy
busy,
time.
and Master Bennett's on every one of those committees. He's out, except he's not on the mental health thing. Someday I will talk to you about it. the next time they have a meeting, we'll give us a report on it. Has there been any in the last few months?
That's been rolled in with Health Coalition, and
it did meet not long ago.
it meets regularly.
It meets once every, what is the date?
It's either third or fourth Thursday.
Thursday, yeah, it is
At
Thursday. I
11:30
can
at the
remember.
extension office.
It's the third Thursday.
It's third Thursday, and if you come, you can get lunch.
Oh, that's right.
But,
Would it be a problem, or you look into it, see if after each one of those, if someone would come and report to the court, give us a report?
Yeah, now, I will say, we don't necessarily discuss, because that's usually centered around one event, the September event we do annually.
Well, maybe that's
And
something.
I know that ASAP we funded the event. So that's kind of that. We're going to have it every single year, and ASAP has contributed money to fund for it.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we're at in terms of updating, and we'll know, probably the next few months, we'll start getting some things together as to what we're going to do and things like that. But it's going to be, I think it's going to always be similar like it was last time, and then maybe expand it a little bit. But there's now at this point there's so much time between now and then that it's not a big priority, but the funding makes it easy, because that way, once we kind of see things coming and we really start hitting the planning phase, we know there's funds there, and we don't have to worry about, it's just going to cost a little money. So, but the big thing is we've got to dab of funding, and the Health Coalition has funding available too. That hopefully it'll just keep growing and growing.
Sounds great.
And I think this is the best way, it actively have more people involved and more resources.
It's a lot better than having a much smaller group, because a lot of the organizations and people that come to the Health Coalition it's part of their job. It's what they do. And they're the ones that are going to be primarily attending it, setting up vendors and putting information out. So it's good to be rolled into the Health Coalition.
That's great. Appreciate it. If there's no other committee reports, I've got one. We need to have a road committee meeting before the next meeting, on the 14th of January. We need, at 4 o'clock, we need a road committee meeting. And Dale, the road that you and I were talking about will be the one thing on there. Okay. And between now and then, we'll need to get out and look at it. Okay. And make sure we have Nick here for the meeting.
So it's about the bridge, so.
No, we'll talk about it too in that committee, but what he and I are talking about is a road. A road that citizens won't take it in. He's got all the paperwork on it. But we got to have it looked at. We want to talk about the special circumstances in the road, in the residences on it, and the condition of the road. Is that fair?
Yep.
Okay. So, drop that, you got that down? Road committee meeting. Okay, now let's go to the magistrates and county officials. Let's start with Micah.
Nothing from the first district.
Jason?
No.
You have
Just the road, that was one thing in mind.
We got that on the road committee meeting. Larry?
Oh, right.
Justin?
No, sir. Thank you.
Adam?
I'll be super quick. I just want to say I'm grateful for the cruiser that y'all bought the first this year. I was asking if the court could find an additional way for one more. A lot of our cars were starting to have issues. We had one that got hit head-on with a drunk driver, and it's got a significant amount of damage. We've had another one, the black tall that I was driving. I now had to give that to our canine unit because the spare car that she was in, that car now has gone down. And the majority of our cars have over 100,000 miles. I know I originally asked for 3, but if you could do one more, I'd be greatly appreciative, and that would help us out significantly.
We'll need to take that under advisement. There's a possibility, without a promise, we're looking at something. We're looking at a possibility.
I just want to bring this attention to yourself, because right now we don't have any more. If we have one more car go down, we're going to be in trouble. So, just want to bring that to your all's attention.
Look at the possibility of where we might get the thing.
We've got an EcoSport you can borrow.
Yeah, hey, there's an EcoSport outside here. They don't make Yugos anymore, do they? Landon, you got anything for us?
No, sir.
Anybody else? Anybody got anything for good of the body? If they haven't, we're going to call this.
Can I have a real question, real quick though? On your truck, just for example, let's say we find the funding and everything, do we need to go ahead and advertise, or can we just use the old advertisement to speed the process up?
We'd probably need to re-advertise everything.
Can we go ahead and re-advertise? At least
For what?
for a new,
Bids for a new vehicle.
a vehicle?
Right.
Even though we don't have the funding lined up for it, to go ahead and do the advertising. So that if we do find it, we'll have.
That way the bid, that way it'll be ready to,
Well, I mean, I don't think it takes you very long to get that bid, does it? I mean, I guess you can.
well, but we're not gonna be in a meeting until January the 14th, that's what I'm
Well,
saying. I don't know.
we won't be able to look at the money till then either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, at least we'll have the bid process out of the way.
I'm assuming you'd want it consistent with the specs that Mr. Wright gives you.
Yeah.
It'll be the same exact one as what I asked for the last time. Identical. It's a Durango.
Okay.
But we just advertise and that way we're ready.
If you all want to go ahead and,
Run the ad, and that way if.
It'll be ready, if we find, we can pull the trigger then at that point.
Y'all wanna make that into a meeting?
I will.
how long do they hold a price on vehicles like that typically?
I called him the other day to see if he had any extras left, and he said he had a few, but he said they were, I don't know if with the new year coming in, I don't know if that'll change or not, though.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you advertise, even if January 14th, you
No,
decide the
no.
funding,
Put
it's
it
still a
in.
process to
Keep
get
the
that
specs out there.
paperwork done. So I'm concerned that you're too far out. If you advertise now, you're 3 months out, are they gonna honor a price for 3 months? I think you can ballpark what you
And if
need.
you see that you can hold the price in the form of the motion.
But we would have to advertise because it's over $30,000, so.
Can you wait 3 months?
It's 40.
That's the
Yeah.
question. Can you wait 3 months?
Yeah, I
That's the
don't
question.
know.
I mean,
Yeah, that's why I was trying to speed the process up, that way in case it got to the point in January, we'd be ready to roll instead of, I don't wanna have to advertise and then wait another meeting, and
But
that's
if
what I'm
you're-
trying to say.
Yeah, if you're,
Sure, to goodness, the county should have some money somewhere set aside that they could use. I mean, if he's about to go down.
At this day, we don't, but we're lucky. But this day, we do not.
Maybe we need to have a fundraiser then.
Cookie.
Bake sale.
Brownies.
But we're looking at something that could happen.
And
Did you make that?
I wanna make the motion to go ahead and advertise for the bid, so that way we'll have it ready, just in case we find the funding, if not, we don't have to take it, but
Yeah.
I think we're one step closer to that.
Okay, you got a motion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Pose like sign, motion back. Anybody else got anything for the good of the body? If not, we're gonna be adjourned. Meeting's adjourned.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.